My name is Lovette and I was one of the people, if you watched the T.O.F.U tape, who said that most of us looked normal and was wearing sunglasses. I sure didn't look normal at that point, and I may not now. I was a lawyer, and I was a seminary student at the same time, and I was burning candles at both ends, and I have a great husband and two beautiful children, and all of us came down with it at the same time. I had wonderful friends who helped me out because I could not read. I was light sensitive, and one of my pupils kept getting larger than the other, and that would make me so light sensitive that somebody would shoot off a flash. I would end up sticking to a wall or ending up in what's called a Lyme seizure because the brain activity was too great for me to endure, and so I would just shut down, and I wasn't a danger to myself, but it would cause me to pass out for 8 or 9 hours. And over the since 1998, I've tried to do what I can to make my life positive. And I hope that if you're watching this, you try to do that too, because I've also done a suicide hotline, and that's very difficult to do when you have this kind of disease and you don't always feel well and you're sometimes just sleeping, and you can't think of a reason to live yourself sometimes. I know that I was put on the wrong antidepressant once and was suicidal myself, and so I felt the need, after someone saved my life online, I felt the need to save others. And people call, the doctors don't believe them. They don't, they're not being given the right prescriptions. They don't have the money. They've lost their jobs. Just like I lost mine, but I was fortunate enough to have my competitors come in and take over my law practice for me with no money reimbursements to them. They were just kind people, and people rarely say that about lawyers. I felt that I had died, because that's who I was. I was a lawyer, and then I was a student at the same time. And I couldn't do those things, and so people would come up to me and they would actually give me my eulogies. They would say, you were a great lawyer, in the past tense, as if I didn't exist. And so that's kind of a weird situation to be in, and that was around the time that the movie The Sixth Sense came out, and he figures out at the end that he was dead. And that's how I felt at the end. Through Lyme literate doctors, through prayer, I got rid of a lot of the symptoms. Although I ended up with 2 back surgeries because my back crumbled. I'm standing up today and it's hurting. What happens is you lose your concentration. You end up playing charades a lot. You'll say, can I have the thing that you stick into something to eat with? And my husband will go, a fork? Yeah, that's it. And we play that kind of game all the time. It's not a game, it's our life, because we can't remember anymore what simple things are called. And if there's one thing that we need to do, it's to alert people that we need to be kind to each other, the ones with this disease, and those out there who don't know anything about this disease, be kind enough to tell people if you think they have the disease. Be kind enough to tell doctors about the disease because they don't know. They don't know that it's a spirochete similar to syphilis and that we're going to die with it. Now, I did get better, and then I got bitten again in May. And I can't believe it, but I did. And this time I ended up with some of the joint pain. And by the way, no one's talked about the bullseye rash. I was diagnosed in Princeton because I had a bullseye rash on the upper left thigh, and no one had seen that before. And it kept expanding. No one in my family had that, and had it not been for some labs at the time who were only doing Lyme disease, we wouldn't have known about my family. And I think the more people who hear our stories, the better you'll all be, because you'll start to recognize yourself or relatives who are the same. And please, please keep your children out of it, because there's nothing worse than having your children get sick. And just this year, in final, I just want to say that we miss the 6 members who died just this year from our group. And they didn't kill themselves. The Lyme killed them.